Okie dokie. So here's, yeah, it's just showing you as nothing. And then what I can do, what I was trying to get at, is that I can share my screen and say that so here's my like whole screen, the shared screen that I'm sharing with you, and it's in the Riverside recording. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's what I meant. I didn't know how to say it, but that's what I. Oh, right. You're getting an echo. I muted my speakers on my computer by going into the browser. Yeah, we got it. You sound good. Your webcam's unavailable because you're on a Mac. Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Right. Oh, hey, that's cool. Okay, yeah. So I think, yeah, if we take the shared screen and then share that as a screen on Riverside, then you get the context of the shared screen and the sound and each individual video feed. Right. So we good to go? We're good to go. Okay, so what happened then to the recording from the last one that you did in Riverside so that I can post it on YouTube? Because it's not anywhere. Shall I just download that one, the link you sent me, and just upload that?
Yeah, did you get that when you downloaded it today?
Well, no, I got a link, but I was like, well, I could just download it. Is that what you want me to do? Like download and post that one?
Yeah.
Right. So the latest link you sent me, the last one you sent me, I should upload that to YouTube, yeah? I'm not. Yeah, I know. I know you can't hear because I muted the. It's going to be loud if I do that. Just because of the way we're sharing. Okay, can you upload straight out of Riverside? It says you can post straight to YouTube out of Riverside. I'm going to send that over. It's just a username and password, but share doesn't do it. But I'd have to I'd have to download. I guess I can download it and upload it. That shouldn't be a problem. Let's just see how.
There's definitely
That's tiny. 309 megs is nothing. Yeah. Okay, sweet. I'll do that. 309 megabytes.
so. It's just a little.
Okay. Oh well. Let's not worry about that. So yeah, that was the correct one. I will upload that to YouTube. What's the name of it? Can you? Okay, so what do I name it? Oh God. Can you just tell me the name? I mean, what the fuck is it? Oh dear. Okay, I'll look it up. So in the repo, but you having pushed it up. So is it from 3 days ago, that one?
Oh shit.
Refining. Oh shit. The attribution and contribution. Sorry, what do you want me to make this name? Just like that. Okay, buddy, we got there. Whew. The life of a publisher. It's actually quite fucking involved. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Hmm. Okay, so shall we start a session? Like, what? How do we signal start? I could clap 3 times. Oh, you got to start the recording. Are we recording? Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, bugger. Hey. Yeah, you are. It's live. It's going hard. What if I say the recording starts now later? I think you need a special word like rutabaga or something. Okay. Okay. All right. Commander, let's begin. I have issues to bring. Is there any chance I could get an avatar out of you? Because looking at this, like, information, like it looks like a road sign, like a traffic sign, wiggling around in the corner. Um, like, um,
I'm the one.
yeah. Let me get my stuff together here. Lies, damn lies, and subscriptions. So I will. Should I give you a rundown of where I'm at with the code, or does that not really matter?
Yeah, it'd be interesting because I don't have much to offer in terms of just the tooling.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't we? If we've got time at the end, I'll give you a rundown. I have issues to bring. Righty-ho. The primary thing I want to poke at is to get a statement, a deliverability format of the formulas of the Dreamcatcher, because that's what I understand you're working on. And so being able to say how does that look when it's done is what I'm interested in talking about. So I would expect that the outcome of that would look like this. It'd be a math spec. That's what I'm expecting. What's the difference between those two things? Yep. Chatted with it over and over and over again until it finally got it right. Took me about half a day to do this. I haven't played about it. Yeah, no problem at all. Either way, was one of the most intense periods of thinking I've done in recent times. Are you asking how did I get there from like a blank prompt?
Yes, yes.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, how I did it was I fired up the trusty mic. and I said, I just rattled off all the stuff that I sort of felt like it needed. So I simply said I need it as a mathematical formula. As a mathematical formula, I need to express the equations of the Dreamcatcher, where the Dreamcatcher is a system that comprises of attribution, contribution, and it needs to figure out the relative weights of different dimensions of contribution. For example, project management versus code construction, and I need to make it a set of formulas because we're going to use an AI to figure out the weights between the different dimensions, but I need the base math formulas first. And so, do you want the tips I learned from doing math prompting?
Yep, just to.
That's funny. I didn't really think about that. So the key with all things to do with the bot is to not ask anything to do with format and to rely and work with the flop of the bot. So, for example, its flop is natural, is a form of LaTeX called KTeX. That's what it flops on. But for it to render in GitHub, for it to render like this, I needed to transform it to be in GitHub flavored Markdown, which is a slight editing difference. And so the general rule is let it work with how it wants, because you actually decrease the quality of the output if you try and constrain the output in any way. The decrease is not massive. Like, I think it's like 1 or 2%. Like if you use structured outputs to give it a JSON schema, the accuracy or the quality of its performance in benchmarks suffers by about 1 to 2%. But the point is that I found that trying to make it do the formatting of the math equation format I wanted at the same time as doing the logic did not have good results. So work with the flop, and then try loads of different times, like loads of different like variations on your question are good. Like, don't just think that there's going to be one. That's not what I meant. Is it? Well, you kind of pick the one you like. And what I was doing was finding out. I'd read what it said and then be like, common starting point is to treat each contributor as having a blah blah weights, total contribution. Like, I might say, like, I can't find any faults in here that I'd want to say, but I'd like read it, figure out the faults, and then either expand on the first thing so that those faults didn't happen, or do a follow-up if I felt like it was at the point where I needed to tune the output. And then just like rinse it every so often, like do it again, start from scratch, feed back in. Doing like copy from here was the sort of most useful thing. Copy it there and then like feed it back in. This is I was just using largely like, voice prompting to just read through the formula and just note off things as I went. like, this is not good, this is not good, I'm not sure about this, expand on that. This is not at all what I recommend. I just want to show you the paste, really. So yeah, like that's the math notation it naturally falls on, and it copies well so long as you hit the copy button on the message. But I don't feel like that's teaching you anything. And yeah, like this is the same question again, and you can kind of get, different fucking like really different things out, right? Same question, totally different approach, right?
Yeah.
Another tactic I used a lot was, I guess I'm talking about the prompts I use more than anything. Please give me some options and ask questions. Answers to before starting. So getting it to ask and like drag stuff out of me was really useful, because I just said what I thought and then it asked questions, and it was just like I just ramble through the voice transcription and it kind of worked, and then I just kind of muddled my way to the end. And that's why, like, I feel like if I had a couple of days on it, I could probably get to a version of these formulas, but they take a lot of thinking and a lot of trying different things. Yeah. Shit, I'm sorry, man. I don't really have a lot more than that. That was sort of rinsed. And it, oh, right. Yeah, some base context to start with, and you're like, these are the things, and now I need to relate them together using a formula, right? Oh, that's perfect, actually, because theoretically, everything in the dictionary should, like, if it doesn't feed into the formula somehow, what the fluff is it doing there, right?
Right. And previously, you know that.
Yeah.
Something wrong. No.
Pretty quickly, man. Pretty quickly. Um.
What is meant to
Well, so it doesn't take much, man. So, can I try and answer these questions? Is
Yeah.
that a good use of your time if I do that now?
All this is useful because
Okay.
because you've got a successful result. So
I have milked this result. I have milked this result so hard. Like this, it's like this is the thing. Do this thing, and everything about it is like class. correct, or it comes out good. Now, maybe I could have got that some other way, but it feels like the trick to prompting for now and forever is going to be you labor like hell to get a very, very clear statement of some kind at the very top. And so the second statement that I made today was this statement, which was everything in the API folder. I was finally able to, after what feels like weeks of fluffing around and procrastinating or head scratching or whatever, be able to implement the interface for Artifact, which is what a NAP gets given to interact with the rest of the world. So it's access to the file system, to different branches, to different processes, to different repositories, and this is the interface that it lives in. So, for example, you can see the files interface has like this meta level interface. It's got a read interface, so all the read operations that you might want to do on a file, all the write operations. And so now I've just been, in the last few hours of this day before we started this call, I've been taking this whole API, which in this whole folder, I believe it to be correct. Like, I hand picked it with a combination of prompting and all that, but I basically hand checked it, curated it to be like, okay, that is the interface. And now I've just been feeding it back into the bot to apply it in the MoneyWorks synchronization piece. And so I'm like, this is how this bit works and that bit works, and make me this bit, or think about how this piece might work. And so if you have this one critical piece that defines what finish should look like. So for us, when Artifact is fully operational, this interface will be backed by Artifact. But I don't have Artifact. I need to get there. But this thing shows what everything needs to do to come together to make happen. And so this is what I plan to use. Instead of using a math spec, I use an interface spec with sort of documentation on it and say, this is what we're making. And then I pick little bits, the next bits that I want to make next. It's also been by far the best to start from the bottom up. So start from the leaves up, because that's sort of top down, and there's too many options for how the leaves could go. But if you get the finished piece how you want it, as like because being able to say an interface or a mathematical specification is like, you'll know when it's done, but it isn't, that thing is by no means doing the task. It's just the requirements or the docs, the specification of the task. And then you start down the very bottom and get all of the leaves to be like exactly as you want them, and take your time to get them right. Then like filling in the middle bits is like it renders way better with less inaccuracy, because there's no freedom. Like the bottom is how you want, and the start is how you want, and the end is how you want, which means that the way through the middle is limited. Like, you've constrained it a lot. So that's where I got to. That's where I got to after a lot of struggling and a lot of heartache. But oh no, I was just going to start going back to the answering the questions. So yeah, you had something else on that topic? Right. Right. Cool. Cool. Okay. Um, yeah. A lot. Like, I would be one of those guys that. Yeah. 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 And don't be afraid to bin it all. Don't be afraid to bin it all because it didn't cost much to generate in the first place. There's there's plenty more. There's plenty more intelligence where that came from. So, but yeah, if we could capture this kind of process into tooling on our platform, we would be unstoppable.
One,
Yes. Just uh, just commit the flop, like commit the KTech or whatever it is that comes out. Once you're happy with it, it won't render it all for you. But then in a separate, totally clean thread, grab that and just say convert this into GitHub Markdown. Here are the docs for GitHub formatting, which I did put somewhere.
surely it must.
No, because it's beyond the knowledge cutoff. It was a recent feature.
That knowledge.
That's how time goes. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
So that's separately formatted. And what
That's really good, but in the meantime, here is the doc that you can concat in and give to the bot to get it right, just in case. Okay, now I'll go back to answering those questions if that's okay with you.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, so to answer your questions, what is the nature of the data for each dimension? Categorical or continuous? Look, I don't know. I mean, it's basically we want to capture usage of the system, tasks, so commits for code, um, project management effort. It all of our bookkeeping is done in plain text files, and so the contributions are captured in a repository for the project. All activities on all dimensions are captured there in text data. You might want to check with me and generate some sample data, or maybe we could make an agentic system to create some simulated data so that we can play with it. Question 2, the contribution dimensions are what comes from the all contributors emoji key. So all contributors is a system of recognizing contributors to an open source project in a way that rewards every contribution, not just code. The basic idea is that they have gone to great lengths to identify a number of dimensions, and then they've specified those dimensions in the emoji key. The emoji key lists things like audio if someone's making a podcast, bug for bugs reports, docs, finding funding, ideas, infrastructure, tutorials, user testing, etc. So those are the dimensions. We want to constrain it to something that's well known just to start with, and we can sort of lean on them as saying, well, that's why we chose these dimensions. There needs to be a way to add new dimensions at some later point, but yeah, those are the dimensions for now. Number 3, do you have a target variable for the overall performance, or do you just want relative members? I have no idea what that question means. You'll need to ask that in a better way. Number 4, how do you plan to handle correlations between dimensions? I don't. That's your job. Give me some options. It's sort of how my day went. I just say as honestly as I can what the answer is. Like, I don't have to.
Of interest, just frankly, interest. You're to you have to speak.
Try it. I think so. Yeah, there you go. You want to say something? You want to say something?
Yeah, on the correlate.
All right. So, what did you start with saying? Because you sort of started talking and I hadn't pushed the button. On the question about how. You okay there, bud? Dying. A bit of coke. What kind of a meeting is this?
I'm coughing. I'm not sniffing.
All right. So yeah. So delete this here, and you're going to say something. Is that right? Okay, you're on. And where do you want that inserted? Do you want it tacked on to after what I said, or to replace it, or as a new message?
Let's run.
So let it run, and then we're going to put it in here, or we're just going to decide after. Why did it feel awkward? I just find that it's so much easier to speak than it is to type, because it's a lot. Otherwise, it's a lot of typing, and the typing takes longer because you kind of feel like you need to get the typing correct in a way, but in the talking,
And you do things like I've got the spelling wrong. It's like
yeah, yeah, and then you kind of tend to read over it and then want to edit it and change it, and then you change a paragraph at the top, and now it doesn't make sense together. I think the most effective way to communicate is just a straight up brain dump of whatever's in your head as it happens in your head while you're reading it, and that's it. It's fast. It covers everything. Do you want me to? I'll spin the wheel on this one anyway, and then if you decide you want to edit it, then yeah. Oh right, so all these would have been answered by your. I don't know about Bayesian anythings, so I'd have to learn that whole field.
is that like Bayesian curves?
I just told you I don't know. I Yeah, this would actually, your statement here would have answered it. It's like you're just looking for that ratio that sums to one. Fairness, that's good. Anyway, I mean, this is all it is me just doing that and like dialing up and down the scope. Like I'm like trying to. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe dealing with a long one dimension, I can separate that out and I can focus on that in isolation, and then I can deal with the multiple dimensions thing separately, and then when I've got those two bits looking good, then I'll join them in the prompt and then talk about how to relate them. So it's not like clear cut modularity, but it is a form of sloppy or fuzzy modularity, because I get two things I like and then put them together and get a third thing that I like.
No.
Yeah, Yeah, because it should be something. It's almost like your prompt needs to come into a staging area where there's like a O1 grinds on it for you and says, well, here's a nicer version of your prompt. What about this? What about that? Before you send it off, so it's like a preamp on the usefulness or the correctness or the intelligence of your prompt.
Yeah, and this is something separate from the mind. There's a bit like paired programming or paired prompting, where your pair is a
Mm. Yeah. There's
system
also
just watches to say, you missed something.
yeah, which is easy to do. Um, I sent you a thing to it was about meta prompting that OpenAI put out. I don't know if you read it. I didn't actually send it. I didn't send it through. That's why you don't have that. My bad. Let me get that now. That there is a lot of work out there about how to amplify your prompts and how to edit your prompts as well. So, yeah, it's just some tips. I'll pass it over anyway. You may find it interesting, you may not. But that's really, you're right. I think that the future is these prompt assistants. So you have like this, the first stage amplifier. The raw is just you just blurt it all out, and then there's like a first stage amplifier that sort of works to increase the quality of your prompt, and you can go back and forth with your peer prompter to get like a really good prompt, and then you run it, and in the background, the models should be grinding away on different versions of your prompt anyway, because it's like, well, he could have meant this or this, and so it should start three concurrent threads that go off and do those things, and then it allows you to see them if you like one of them, or it will assess it itself if you don't look and be like, this is good, that's good. And basically, it means that this process we're going through here can have a lot of the labor removed, because the redoing and the re-editing and the looping around is like, I kind of want it to help me. And you saw how different the responses are when you just spin the wheel 2 times. It should do that for me. It should run it 10 times and look at all the results and go, okay, here's the unique bits or the interesting bits.
Yes, yes,
Like it should self-reflect. No matter how good the reasoning gets, it will always give you a radically different answer each time, but within limits. I would be surprised if for most questions you run it 10 times, you'd probably get 5 unique, like the answers would start to repeat or be groupable. They'd be going down a certain angle.
but it's not actually what
Yeah, but it should be doing a lot of that for you, just sort of in the background without needing you to even, like, it just happens, and then it gives you the best of the best as the output.
yeah. With rates, it's
Mm, mm. That's right. Yeah. So that's that. I mean, that's really all I wanted to discuss with you is that there is a packaged format for what the output of this task looks like, and I would greatly appreciate a description of the task in terms of a stuck um, somehow, because that yeah that's important. That sorry, because you don't have an avatar, I can't see what you're doing with any of your stuff. You just the road sign just says the same thing all the time. Um, the reconciling on the stuck between the two of us is critical because no matter what you do or don't do in pursuit of it, it is an open problem. And, like agreeing what the problem is and what the finished format looks like, I think is very useful work anyway. And then it allows us to try and come at it from different angles, as well as publish it and allow others to try and get at it too, because we're like, well, that's the thing we're trying to do. Finally, that's the thing. If you can solve this, we're pretty confident that we can embed it into a running system and implementation, and we can expose it to the world. So have at it. All right. So I'm fucking pretty sick of not getting somewhere. Um, yeah, but I mean, it's interesting to share these sort of experiences back. Like it's not apparent until I start to explain it to you. Then I'm like, yeah, I did actually pick up a few skills and all my struggles. Like, it's that's not how you start doing things. Put it that way.
Thing is, capturing these is quite useful because
Mm. A helper, right? Like an amplifying helper. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. And then yeah, right. The thread then, because it's more able to be forked at each point. Your The trouble with the way ChatGPT presents is that it's hard to maintain trees of possible. The final thread is hard to get to because you might want to pursue multiple different paths from a different junction that you liked, and you should be able to work to go down these multiple paths, collapse them, and mess around with them, because you're really trying to chart a course from like A to B via like this step, no, backtrack, no, new thing, blah blah. You're trying to like almost do a random walk, but the tooling needs to help you with that. Like it should be able to light up the doors. The truth is like, well, you got A, B, C, or D. Like I didn't even know I had A, so thanks for that. And then it should be drawing on all your contacts and all your friends and everything, and now you're sort of walking this maze. And then when someone else comes along to get them up to speed, because there's something I'm starting to loathe, is people giving me a chat that they've had. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Like, but a tree that was compressed and reasoned and had been labored for and had burnt a lot of tokens to compress it down, and now like, here's my tree. And I can look through it and I can see the paths they took and didn't take, and I can see the all the alternate routes and all the things, and I can be like, oh, you missed this other bit up here, you could have taken that, or I might want to take it, or like it makes the chat now I can build on it. Because if at any given point there's possibilities for your peer programmer and you to go down, that also means that collaboratively you could be doing branching on the same node in real time with me, where the same set of collapsing rules and reasoning rules are applying. And so we're really able to dance all around the tree and then like explode out the possibilities and refine what we like. And then it's a peer effort, because we've got so much knowledge about the subject that we can be both inputting to the tree at the same time, surely. Hmm. Right. Just search. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's yeah. All right. Shall we call it a night there?
Yeah, I'm quite keen to start buying some of these.
Okay. So what do we do? How do we do? Hey, look, the Riverside webcam blocks all my screens. What? What? Well, we are. I can hit stop. Shall I hit stop? Okay, it went stop. I'm 99% uploading. It's funny, like it blanks it blanks all the screens, including the shared one in the webcam. Oh, there was a button called Add Marker that we could have used to start the recording. I did. I clicked on I clicked on stop. It just says it's uploading and it's 99% done. I think I just have to wait. Yeah. If only you could share your screen. Can you share it in the recording? Or no? Right. Right. Yeah, it's weird. It still says it's. Yep. Have you stopped? Have you stopped? Right. Yeah. Oh, here we go. There you go. Hey, buddy. Yeah.